Hello, welcome to Unacademy. Let's crack UPSC CSE English. In today's lecture, we'll study A to Z about Brics Summit. So, in this lecture, we'll see evolution of Brics Summit, their agenda and implementation of the policies and relations with the members of Brics countries. Yes, welcome to Unacademy, India's largest e-learning platform where you will get daily live classes, unlimited live and recorded lectures with structured courses and unlimited mock tests. We 100 plus top educators will guide you throughout your preparation. So download Unacademy Learning app today and start your preparation. Yes, it's me, Rushikesh Inamdar, having experienced more than 8 years in the field of guiding to the aspirants for UPSC examinations. You can join our Telegram group to get daily updates, and you can follow me on Unacademy through this link. Yes. So, number of aspirants asking about module courses and various information related to the preparation. So, on our Unacademy platform, we have 15,000 plus courses. So, you can start your UPSC CSE preparation with Unacademy. Now, if we are talking about subscription options, you have two options like plus subscription and iconic subscription, where you will get 10% discount using referral code RBI Live. So do not forget to use code RBI Live to get 10% discount. Yes. Those students waiting for our scholarship program, here we have Unacademy Combat scheduled on 14th Feb and 20th Feb morning 11 o'clock. So enroll today and use code RBI Live for the enrollment of Unacademy Combat. So basically in this combat, we'll give you amazing prizes and subscription offers. So just check it through app and enroll today itself. Yes, these are the new batches recently started, like 1 year, 2 years batches and NCRT batches for the UPSC prelims. Yes guys, these are the combo courses available. Again, you will get 10% discount on these courses using referral code RBI Live. So friends, now we'll start today's topic, Brics Summit, right? So first of all, question in our mind, like what is meant by BRIC or Brics, right? So basically Brics an acronym is used for the combined economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. Initially there were only 4 countries, that is Brazil, Russia, India and China formed this group. Later on South Africa joined and the term is coined like BRICS. Now we'll see evolution of BRICS. So in 2001, an economist, Jim O'Neill, British economist, coined the term BRIC, which means Brazil, Russia, India and China, based on the growth prospects of these economies, and projected that they would be among the world's largest economies in the next 50 years and also, right? So economist Jim O'Neill coined the term BRIC. So It's a formal group. Brics started the meeting of the leaders of Russia, India and China in St. Petersburg on the margin of G8 Outreach Summit in July 2006. So we can say the roots of these Brics meetings started in the 2006 itself. So the grouping was formalized during the first meeting of BRIC foreign ministers on the margin of UNGA in New York in September 2006. So just remember this chronology, friends. Right. Now, what happened in 2010? South Africa officially joined the group. Right. So, on 2010 onwards, it's known as BRICS. Right. So, see the map of BRICS countries: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Yes. Now, we'll see. Just have a look on list of BRICS summits. So, first summit was held at Yekaterinburg, Russia on 16th June 2009 under the chairmanship of Dmitry Medvedev. So first summit was conducted in Russia. After that, second meeting was conducted in Brazil under the chairmanship of Luis Inacio Lula da Silva. Right. Third summit was held on 14th April 2011 in China under the chairmanship of Hu Jintao. The next fourth summit was held at New Delhi, India under the chairmanship of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Yes, friends. After that, so there were now till the date 12 summits were conducted. Fifth summit was conducted in 2013 in Durban, South Africa under the chairmanship of Jacob Zuma. Right. Sixth summit was conducted in 2014 at Brazil under the chairmanship of Dilma Rousseff. Next summit, seventh summit was conducted in 2015 in Ufa, Russia under the chairmanship of Vladimir Putin. Yes, we'll see the importance of summit and their agreements in this session itself. Right. Next summit, 8th summit, was conducted in 2016 in Goa, India under the chairmanship of Narendra Modi. Yes. 9th summit of BRICS was conducted in China under the chairmanship of Xi Jinping. 10th summit was conducted in 2018 at South Africa under the chairmanship of Cyril Ramaphosa. Next summit, that is 11th summit, was conducted in 2019 in Brazil under the chairmanship of Jair Bolsonaro. And guys, recent summit was conducted at Russia, St. Petersburg, Russia under the chairmanship of Vladimir Putin in November 2020. So, till the date, these 12 summits are conducted. Now, we'll see the significance of BRICS summit and BRICS nations. Yes. So, these are the 5 countries, brings together 5 major emerging economies comprising 43% of the world population. Yes, if we are talking about India and China, they have, maximum population, right? They are on top in the list of population. right? So 43% of the world population, 37% of the world GDP, 17% share in the world trade, and 25.9% of world's geographic area, and approx 40% of the increase in world growth since 2009. So these BRICS countries comprises with these features and significance of the BRICS countries. Yes friends, now if we are talking about agenda of BRICS, so we can mention here like the BRICS agenda started initially with that it started essentially with economic issues. Initially we have started with economic issues of mutual interest, right? So the agenda of BRICS meetings has considerably widened over the years to encompass topical global issues such as international terrorism, climate change, food and energy security, international economic and financial situation, reform of the Bretton Woods institutions, trade protectionism, and WTO or Doha development round. So during the time we widened the scope and agenda of the BRICS countries like international terrorism, climate change, food and energy security, and etc. Yes friends, now we'll see the basically cooperation in economic financial sphere. This is the most important part dealing with the BRICS countries. So the economic and financial sphere stands out as one of the most promising areas of activities for the BRICS. So here we'll see two instruments of special importance were signed at the 6th BRICS Summit, Fortaleza, Brazil in 2014 regarding the New Development Bank NDB and the Contingent Reserve Arrangement CRA. Now we'll see what is that. As we know, IMF deals with a number of countries like that. The BRICS countries formed New Development Bank. Yes, now basically this CRA, it's like IMF, not NDB. Now first we'll see NDB. So New Development Bank is also known as BRICS Development Bank, headquartered at Shanghai, China. And the New Development Bank will mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects. Just note down the point. So NDB mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects in BRICS and other emerging economies and developing countries. So New Development Bank started their work in 2015. Yes. Next is the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, that is CRA. So basically microeconomic and financial advisor to the member countries is the role of CRA. The same role like IMF. Right. So the BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement CRA would contribute to strengthening the global financial safety net complement existing international arrangements from IMF. Yes. Now, the BRICS CRA will help India and other signatory countries to prevent short-term liquidity pressures by boosting access to additional foreign exchange reserves in situation of instability in the balance of payments BOP, provide mutual support and further strengthen financial stability. So the important role of CRA in Brics, right? So the initial total committed resources of CRA was 100 billion and China contributing 41 billion dollars, South Africa $5 billion, while India and Russia and Brazil 18 billion dollars each. Yes. Now we'll see the process of Brics. Yes, after the important two institutions, we'll see multi-level process of Brics. Yes. So guys, Brics Corporation Group consolidated in its foundation and expanded to more areas as we have discussed. They started their interest like economic activities. Then it developed multi-level process led by the summit meetings of the national security advisors, foreign ministers, and other ministerial meetings. So, which means this BRICS cooperation has two pillars: consultation on issues of mutual interest, and second, practical cooperation in a number of areas. If we are talking about consultation on issues of mutual interest, which meeting of leaders as well as the ministers of finance, trade, health, science and technology, and agriculture. And if we are talking about practical cooperation in a number of areas to the meetings of working groups and senior officials. So these are the two pillars of the BRICS cooperation, right? So it's a multi-level process. They are helping and cooperating each others. Yes. Now, after the significance and agenda of BRICS, we'll see the details regarding a recent summit was conducted. 12th summit was held at Russia in November, right? November 2020. Yes. So BRICS Russia Summit 2020. Now, just have a look on leaders of these 5 countries. Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, President of Brazil; Vladimir Putin, President of Russia; Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India; Xi Jinping, President of China; and Cyril Ramaphosa, President of South Africa. Yes, so these leaders discussed about few measures and projection for the cooperation in BRICS. Right. Now, on November 17th, under the Russia's BRICS chairmanship, Vladimir Putin hosted the 12th BRICS summit via video conference. As we know, the summit conducted via video conference due to the pandemic of COVID-19. Right. So this summit adopted the motto for the year as BRICS Partnership for Global Stability, Shared Security and Innovative Growth. Yes, just remember, motto for this summit is BRICS Partnership for Global Stability, Shared Security and Innovative Growth. Yes, so if we'll study the historical or agreement signed in the previous summits, like if we are talking about At the end of 2019 summit in Brazil, President Vladimir Putin had declared that special attention would be paid to expanding foreign policy coordination between our states on key international platforms, primarily at the United Nations. Yes, so another goal was to update the strategy for economic partnership signed in 2015 and formulate a strategy that will set the agenda for Brics cooperation till 2025. Yes, so we can say another goal was to update the strategy for economic partnership between the Brics countries. Now, so basically these goals form part of the broader Russian strategic objectives towards Brics, right? So which includes reforming the prevailing institutions of economic governance, pursuing a multi-vector policy and expanding foreign policy cooperation with Brics members. Right. To use these measures to strengthen the international position of the country on international platform, right? So we can say the achievement of these goals in 2000, that is goals in 2020, took place in the backdrop of the pandemic, which has been the upending of the post Cold War order, right? So the impact of this development on Brics as an organization and on its stated aims can hardly be underestimated. So, in this summit, the leaders of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa participated to discuss the state and prospects of cooperation within Brics. So, they discussed the global stability and security, and most importantly, exchanged views on joint efforts to halt the spread of coronavirus pandemic. COVID-19, right? Now, Russia's president reviewed Brics activities since Russia took over from Brazil and highlight achievements and set the challenges for the future of Brics. So we can say here, just we'll see the Russia chairmanship, the Brics had held 130 events, including some 25 ministerial meetings, right, during the tenure of the Russia chairmanship. Due to pandemic COVID-19, number of meetings conducted through online or via video conferencing mode. Yes. Now, the contents of the current global health situation, Russian president pointed to the subject of medical cooperation among the Brics and reminded the UFA declaration, which was adopted in 2015, included an agreement to work together to prevent the spread of infectious disease. Yes. So, in this summit, Russian president reminded UFA Declaration 2015, where Brics countries adopted or signed one agreement, that is to work together to prevent the spread of infectious disease. Right. Now, according to this agreement, the Brics countries created an early warning system for infectious disease outbreaks, which could be used during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the Brics countries promptly responded to the disease outbreak and took practical measures to combat the pandemic. So see, the cooperation between Brics countries observed during this coronavirus pandemic. So they took practical measures to combat the coronavirus. Now, next point is the Russian Direct Investment Fund RDIF has signed agreements with Indian and Brazilian partners on clinical test of the Sputnik V vaccine. For, yes, vaccine created by Russia. Yes, and they signed agreements with pharmaceutical companies in India and China on the production of the vaccine for Brics countries as well as other countries, right? So in this summit they signed agreement with related with the Sputnik 5 vaccine of Russia. Now, so Russian vaccines and we in if we are talking about this Russian vaccine, basically they are effective and safe, and the next task is to launch large scale production. But after that, these arrangements was in November 2020. Now these days India also started testing of its own vaccines in India and other countries as well, right? So it is important to accelerate the establishment of the Brics vaccine reach. Now after that, the establishment during the Brics summit, they agreed that the Brics vaccine center research and development center at the Johannesburg summit 2 years ago at the initiative of the South African. So basically these Brics countries accelerated the establishment of the Brics Vaccine Research and Development Center earlier discussed in Johannesburg summit. Now, due to the pandemic, many countries have taken emergency measures to support national industries, finance, and the social sphere to revive their economies and return them to a trajectory of sustainable growth. So, this is the goal of strategy for BRICS economic partnership for the period until 2025 prepared in this summit. Now, due to COVID, countries throughout the world have taken emergency measures to revive their economies, right? So the goal of the strategy for BRICS economic partnership for the period until 2025, yes, prepared in this summit. So basically they discussed economical revive of the countries, BRICS countries, in this summit. Yes. Now we'll see few more details and updates related with the recent summit. Yes, now COVID-19 hits hard but challenges BRICS. So during the pandemic, we can say every country and nation facing economic challenges due to the pandemic. Now, the new development bank is in great demand in its current situation. So now we'll see the role of NDB. New Development Bank is in great demand in the current situation. So the bank has reserved $10 billion to combat the pandemic. Yes, and if we are talking about its overall portfolio of investment project now exceeds to $20 billion. Yes, now if we are talking about the NDB, and overall Brics projects, like as 62 large projects are being implemented in the Brics countries. Incidentally, a regional branch of the bank will soon open in the Moscow to implement lending programs across the Eurasian space. Now, after the headquarter in China, NDB will start their regional branch in Moscow, Russia to implement lending programs across the Eurasian space. Now, the BRICS countries have a special insurance tool in case of crisis in the financial markets. That is the BRICS contingent reserve arrangement with $100 billion fund, right? Yes. So the BRICS CRA with $100 billion fund. Now, the BRICS interbank cooperation mechanism is important in the parties' cooperation on credit and investment policy. So this year they have agreed on the rules and principles of the responsible financing of development institutions within its framework. So the leaders of BRICS countries discussed about NDB's role and framework for the development of these countries. Right. Next. So the 5 countries are enhancing: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are enhancing cooperation in science, technology, and innovation as well. So, intensive contacts have been underway between our academic and scientific centers, and their coverage is truly impressive, from ocean and polar research to astronomy and artificial intelligence AI. Right. So, experts from the 5 countries carry out joint energy research. So, basically, the experts and scientists from these 5 countries, they are conducting various research programs and meetings related with the ocean and polar research and astronomy and artificial intelligence as well. All right. So in this summit there have been prepared reports on the projected development of the fuel and energy sectors in the BRICS countries until 2040. So in this summit, they projected the development of the fuel and energy sectors until 2040. Yes. Now, the Russian president highlighted the challenging global and regional security environment, like international terrorism, drug trafficking continue to pose serious threats, and cybercrime has greatly expanded its reach. So, during the summit, Russian president talked about and highlighted the international terrorism, drug trafficking, cybercrime, and their threats. Yes. So he said that we are witnessing dangerous, destabilizing trends in the Middle East and North Africa. Right. So the armed conflicts in Libya and Yemen are continuing. There is still a lot to be done to bring about a political settlement in Syria, and the risk of escalation persists in Iraq, Lebanon, Afghanistan, and in the Persian Gulf. So during the summit, he discussed instability in the Middle East and North Africa. Yes. Now we can say it's highly satisfying that the BRICS countries have been closely coordinating their efforts on current international and regional matters. So initially, as we have discussed, these five countries started their economic matters, right? Economic cooperation. Now they widely broaden their interest and coordination in the current international and regional matters as well. So in this summit, a policy document, the BRICS counterterrorism strategy, drafted, right? So in this summit, the drafted BRICS counter-terrorism strategy. Now, if we are talking about these five emerging economies are expanding their cooperation on combating drug trafficking and corruption, as well as on international information security. Yes, so they expanding their horizon and their all cooperation in combating drug trafficking, corruption, and international information security. So, during the meeting, the leaders of the BRICS member countries heard reports from the other speakers who have overseen the work of each track of the association's activity. So, it's all about all inclusive discussion of the other reports related with the development. Now, in this, we'll see few examples like Secretary of the Russian Secretary Council Nikolai Patrushev spoke about cooperation in the coronavirus pandemic response in combating terrorism and cybercrime. Yes. Now, NDP's president Marcos Troijo cited the financial institutions' performance data and plans for the next year. So, in this summit, president of the NDP discussed institutions' performance and plans for the upcoming year. Yes. In next reports, that is president of Russian Chambers of Commerce and Industry spoke about the business council events, and the chairman of WBRFA covered BRICS interbank cooperation mechanism. So these are the few reports from the other associations. And another one is most important step we can say, that is the report by chair of the board of directors of Global Rus Trade Anna Nestorova addressed the establishment of the BRICS Women's Business Alliance. Yes, so we can say these BRICS nations started or emphasizing on women empowerment as well. So see the widening horizons and their cooperation in the various fields. Now they address the establishment of the BRICS Women's Business Alliance. Yes. Next. So in this summit, President of Brazil, Prime Minister of India, President of China, and President of South Africa exchanged their views on the state and prospect of the five-sided cooperation. So the leaders of the BRICS discussed the all aspects and all all types of cooperation during this summit. So, if we are talking about this 12th BRICS Summit Moscow Declaration was adopted, which reflects in five countries' consolidated approach to the further development of the association, as well as the strategy for the BRICS economic partnership until 2025 and the BRICS anti-terrorism strategy. So they have discussed basically strategy for the economic planning and development along with anti-terrorism strategy. Yes. Now we'll see few more details of this summit. So we can say the BRICS summit this year was built on the economic engagement of the previous years. Right. So in this context, it is clear that member states have found common interests on which they are willing to cooperate through the format of established mechanism and institutions. Yes. So we can say that it's a theme of, and they have discussed economic issues, right, and their common interests. Yes. Now, at a time when the global system is in flux, BRICS members have found it relevant to continue to explore areas of cooperation, especially as the new world order is yet to be formed. So we can say during the pandemic, all nations facing various problems, they are looking for reviving their economies. Now, BRICS role is important to cooperate through this NDB and CRA. So we can say the role of these two institutions will enhance and will help BRICS countries to revive their economies. Right. So it is safe to say that the BRICS 2020 summit so basically did not quell questions about its future courses of action in light the challenges of the above. Now, it remains to be seen if the existing institutionalization would be enough to continue to drive the organization forward and how will it evolve in a changing world order. Right? So we can say in this summit they have discussed various aspects related with the economic cooperation, along with that security aspects like international terrorism, cyber crimes. All right. Now we can say this will also determine whether the organization will prove to be successful in fulfilling Russia's strategic objective in the coming years, and in addition to helping it deal with the impact of economic sanctions and breakdown of relations with the West in the aftermath of the 2014 Ukrainian crisis. So we can say it will helping deal with the impact of economic sanctions after the 2014 Ukrainian crisis. Now, in this summit, after the all discussions, India, China, South Africa, and Brazil commend Russian BRICS chairmanship in 2020 and express their gratitude to the government and people of Russia for holding 12th BRICS summit. And the adopted document says, beside that, the Brazil, Russia, China, and South Africa extended their full support to India for its BRICS chairmanship in 2021 and the holding of the 13th Brics Summit in India. Yes. So, as we know, India has already seen the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the global system, leading to a rethink of several of its foreign policy measures. Yes, yes, Aman. Okay, sure. So I'll revise all summits, yes, with the host nations. Okay, all right, right. So here we'll just see and we'll just have a recap of all 12 summits, right? So guys, as we have discussed, first BRICS summit was held in Russia in 2009, right, under the chairmanship of Dmitry Medvedev. Yes, Aman, just now listen the list of all the summits, right? Yes. Next summit was held in Brazil in 2010, where South Africa added as a official member. Yes, under the chairmanship of Luis Inácio Lula da Silva. Next, third summit, BRICS summit, was held in China in 2011 under the chairmanship of Hu Jintao. Right. And after that, next summit, that is fourth BRICS summit, was held at New Delhi, India under the chairmanship of Dr. Manmohan Singh. Then fifth summit was held at Durban, South Africa in 2013 under the chairmanship of Jacob Zuma. Yes. Next sixth summit was held in Fortaleza, Brazil under the chairmanship of Dilma Rousseff in 2014 and known as Important Summit in relation with the establishment and introduced two institutions like NDB and CRA. Yes, next seventh summit was held in 2015 at Russia under the chairmanship of Vladimir Putin. Right. Next summit was held in 2016 in Banalim, Goa, India under the chairmanship of Narendra Modi. Next, ninth summit was held at China under the chairmanship of Xi Jinping in 2017. After that, 10th summit was held in South Africa, that is under the chairmanship of Cyril Ramaphosa in July 2018. After that, in 2019, summit was held at Brazil under the chairmanship of Jair Bolsonaro. Right. And after that, 12th summit was held in 2020 during the pandemic via video conference at St. Petersburg, Russia under the chairmanship of Vladimir Putin. Yes, just remember this chronology and few important points related with these summits. Now, after that, we covered significance of the BRICS, like comprising 43% of the world population, 37% of the world GDP, 17% share in the world trade, 25 approx 25.9% of the world geographic area, and comprising approx 45% of the increase in the world growth since 2009. So these are the significance of Brics. So initially they started their mutual interest related with the economic issues, and after that, as we have studied their scope and another issues related with the international terrorism, climate change, food and energy security, and related with the trade as well. Yes, after that we studied two important establishment, that is the New Development Bank NDB and the Contingent Reserves Arrangement CRA. Yes. After that we studied few points related with the recent summit held at Russia via video conference. So in which these countries discussed about how to face or how to spread or revive economies in this pandemic, and they have discussed about vaccination program, right? So just remember the motto for the recent summit was Brics Partnership for Global Stability, Shared Security and Innovative Growth. Yes, so they have discussed economic issues and all issues related with the health, trade and all that. So we can say during during the chairmanship of Russia, there were 130 events held, like 25, in which 25 ministerial meetings and number of events conducted through online mode itself. Yes. Here we studied the UFA declaration of 2015 related with the to prevent the spread of infectious diseases. Right. Then we studied the Sputnik V vaccine and their agreement with the Brics countries. Yes. Then role of the NDB and CRA during this challenging period. Yes. Yes, during now we already studied the Russian president and chairman for this 12th BRICS summit highlighted the challenging global and regional security environment, international terrorism, drug trafficking, cybercrime, all these issues as well. Yes. Along with few other reports, and most important, if we are talking about women empowerment during these nations, so they addressed the establishment of the BRICS Women's Business Alliance as well. Yes, at the end of the summit, India, China, South Africa and Brazil commend Russian BRICS chairmanship in 2020 and express their gratitude to the government and people of Russia for holding 12th BRICS summit. Yes, now it's our turn, India's turn in 2021. right? So in this year, that is 13th Brics Summit will conduct in India under the chairmanship of Narendra Modi, right? It's yes. So now at the end of the session, we'll see. So the presidency of Brics for 2021, India's conduct as the chair will be an indication of how New Delhi sees its own position within Brics going forward. So this is, we can say, important role, and our participation in Brics will reflected in our chairmanship and programs for the Brics in 2021, right? So we can say at the end, we can say or summarize that this will be an interesting development to watch in light of its complicated relation, India's complicated relations with China, and a growing closeness with the US, as well as implications of the growing Russia-China rapprochement. So now it's time to see and to be optimistic with the Brics cooperation. So now India will chair 13th Brics Summit. So definitely we'll discuss this topic after the summit. So till the time, just revise what we have studied today. Yes. So it's all about Brics. So just remember the point. Those aspirants just studying this first time. So Brics, an acronym, right, is used for the combined economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Just revise the all summits conducted and hosted by these five nations, and important agreements during these summits. We have discussed important agreements. Yes, so this is the important part of our preparation, that is international relations. Yes friends, so we discussed all about Brics. Now in the next lecture, in future, we'll see another international organizations as well. So till the time, keep revising, keep studying, and do not forget to enroll for Unacademy Combat as well. So see, it will help you and it will boost up your preparation. If we are talking about current affairs part, so you will cover all the topics related with the current affairs in this combat as well. So it's a scholarship program, will boost up your preparation, and you can join our Telegram group as well. So link is here, and in description you will get link for the enrollment for the Unacademy Combat, which is scheduled on tomorrow morning 11 a.m. So hurry up and enroll yourself for this combat. Yes, use the code RBI Live. And now like, share and subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon to get regular updates. And yes guys, do not forget to attend special class on Election Commission tomorrow on Unacademy app. Yes. So till the time, keep revising, keep studying,